75. Introspections. Doldrums. Lavanya's POV. So that's why he was completely silent when I went to his cabin today. How did he react? Rui asked when I told her the news the next morning over the phone. I saw tears in his eyes. He was sad, hurt. It wasn't easy to watch. I closed my eyes, picturing Virat sir standing near his car, looking up at me one last time. I get it, she exhaled. So what? I asked. So, what are you going to do now? I don't know. I'm just trying to adjust to everything. The only good thing is that I'm not committed to anyone now, so I can finally think clearly about what I want and what I should do next. You're not coming to work? Balram sir was asking about you, she informed me. Not yet. I'll take a few days off. I'll send an email to Balram sir. He'll understand. I hoped. He will. But you need to remember that this is a busy time of year and he needs his personal secretary to keep things in order. I know. I'll try. After a few more minutes of conversation, Ruha excused herself to focus on her work. As soon as she hung up, I called Balram sir's office number. Hello GD Dawson office, he answered cheerfully. Sir, it's Lavanya. Oh ye Behena, where have you been? Why aren't you coming to the office? We have piles of paperwork waiting. Sir, I'm sorry, but I've been dealing with something. I hesitated. Is everything okay, Behena? He sounded concerned. Should I tell him the truth? He'll find out eventually. If I don't tell him personally, he might feel bad. After a brief silence, I finally said, Sir, I broke off my engagement with Virat sir. For a few seconds, there was complete silence on the other end. I checked my phone screen to see if the call had disconnected. It was still going. Hello, sir? Balram sir? I raised my voice slightly. Han Behena, yes. His voice suddenly came through, clear as ever. Can you hear me properly, sir? I asked. Yes, of course. He paused before asking, Did something happen between you and Virat, if I may ask? I hesitated, then replied, No, not at all. It was just me. I couldn't keep lying to him anymore. I felt guilty every day when he... I trailed off, struggling to find the right words. It's okay, Lavanya. I understand. His voice was gentle. You don't have to come to the office. Take a few more days to rest. And, he hesitated before finally asking, Does Mr. Dawson know about this? No, sir. I don't want him involved in my problems. He's finally back home, and I want him to be at peace. Please don't tell him. I requested firmly. As you wish, Behena. But if you didn't want him to know, then why did you break the engagement? It had nothing to do with him, sir. I just couldn't force myself to feel something for Virat, sir, that wasn't there. I didn't want to live a life full of lies. That's why I made this decision. I explained. At least now, I can truly think about what I really want in my life. Don't you want him? Balram sir's question echoed in my mind, sending me into another realm. Do I? You know the answer. My inner voice scoffed. I don't know. Don't lie. I'm not lying. Seriously? Okay, fine, I know. I want him. But it's too late now. I can't have him. Does it matter? You're such a confused woman. When he was here, you avoided him. When he left, you missed him and finally accepted you loved him. Then, when he came back, you pushed him away again because of your stupid commitment to Virat. Now that he's gone, you suddenly realize you don't love Virat? Saying it's too late now is just your eternal excuse. According to you, the perfect time never came. But listen carefully, girl. Perfect time never comes in life. You have to create it. I fell silent, listening to my own conscience, trapped in a battle of logic and regret. Lavanya? Are you there? Lavanya? Balram sir's voice suddenly pulled me back. Yes, sir, I'm listening, I responded quickly. I'm here. He exhaled loudly. Take care of yourself, Behenna. You don't need to come to work right now. Get some rest. Yeah, thank you, sir. I felt embarrassed. Bye, Lavanya, he said, and I hung up. After that conversation, my mind spiraled into deeper analysis. Should I call him? Do I even have the right to call him and tell him this? No, I can't do that. What would he think of me? What would people say? That I broke up with someone and immediately called his richer boss like an opportunist? No, I cannot bear that shame or those judging eyes. Then what do you want to do? My inner voice challenged again as I kept shifting positions, unable to sit still. I can't. He's finally happy now. He might have forgotten me. He must be living a better life. Is he? This internal debate continued for hours.
Jackie's POV. Please, I beg you, don't be so ruthless. Please don't leave me alone, Lavanya, I pleaded, kneeling in front of her. But her face remained unreadable. She looked completely blank, as if she hadn't even heard me. Her eyes were fixed elsewhere, lost in another world. Lavanya, I called desperately. Lavanya, are you even listening to me? I tried harder, wanting her to see my pain, to look at my tears and realize how much I loved her. Lavanya, please, just look at me. But the more I tried, the worse it felt. She wouldn't even glance at me. It was as if I didn't exist. The pain was unbearable. Her gaze was so focused on something else that I had to follow it. I turned my head to see what had captured her attention, and my heart sank. Virat Oberoi. He stood there, smirking arrogantly, dressed in a tuxedo with a crisp bow tie and a designer suit. Tall, dark, handsome, and a complete bastard. But the worst part? Lavanya was staring at him, mesmerized. I turned back to her only to find her dressed in a breathtaking white wedding gown. She looked like an angel straight from heaven. But she wasn't dressed for me. She was dressed for him. How could she be so heartless? How could this innocent-looking girl be so I couldn't think anymore. My mind froze as I watched her start walking. Lavanya, my voice faded into nothing as she walked past me. She didn't stop. She didn't even turn back. She just kept moving forward, leaving me standing there like I was invisible. I watched her walk straight to him. Virat didn't spare me a glance either. He simply took her hand and guided her toward the church a few yards away. The pain was unbearable. It felt like my tears were no longer just water but blood. Every inch of my body burned, my skin crawling with agony. Then I heard it. The church bell rang loud, heavy, merciless. It was a cruel reminder, a sign of my ultimate loss. I have lost her. I have lost the only girl I have ever loved. It is over. Irreversible. I fell to my knees, my hands gripping the ground as I shouted her name with every ounce of pain in my soul. Lavanya! The bell continued to toll, each ring slicing deeper into my heart, like a blade twisting inside my chest. The sound grew louder, unbearable, relentless. My vision blurred as the golden bell at the top of the church reflected the sunlight, flashing harshly into my eyes. I blinked. The next thing I saw was a night lamp. Wait, a night lamp! I gasped, my chest heaving as I tried to process what was happening. My surroundings started making sense. I wasn't in the church. Yeah, I was in my room. I ran my hand through my damp hair, feeling the sweat clinging to my skin. My body trembled from the intensity of the dream. No, the nightmare. Just a bad dream. The church bell that had tormented me was actually the alarm on my phone. It was still ringing, still piercing my ears with its shrill tone. I groaned and shut it off, tossing my phone aside before lying back down, trying to calm my racing heart. Later after breakfast, I slumped onto the couch, staring blankly at the TV screen. I flipped through the channels, uninterested in everything. The idea of going out, let alone to work, felt exhausting. I just wanted to be alone. Sir? One of the house staff approached hesitantly. Yes, I asked, not even bothering to look up. still aimlessly pressing buttons on the remote. I had no energy for conversation. "I was cleaning your room, sir, and your phone kept vibrating. Mr. James has been calling you repeatedly." He held up my phone. I sighed, finally glancing at the screen from the corner of my eye. "James, still calling." I rolled my eyes. "Of course." Reluctantly, I took the phone from him. "Thanks." He nodded, bowed slightly, and left me alone. A few seconds later, the phone screen went black, battery dead. Thank God. At least now I wouldn't have to answer. I placed it on the couch beside me, relieved. But just as I began to relax, the landline rang loudly, the sharp sound slicing through my already fragile patience. It was deafening, annoying, unbearable. I clenched my teeth, glaring at the phone. Even the smallest noise felt like an attack. Snatching up the cordless receiver, I snapped, "Jackie Dawson." "Hey, Jackie! Man, where the hell are you?" James's voice came through, hurried and frustrated. "Why haven't you reached yet? Everyone's waiting for you at the office." He whispered the last part loudly, probably trying not to sound too casual while speaking to me as a friend instead of my assistant. "I'm not coming. Bye." I was about to hang up. Hey, wait." James hurriedly cut in. "You do know we have a meeting, right?" I sighed and placed the receiver back against my ear. "You've been handling everything for me these past few months, haven't you?" I reminded him. "Yeah, but you're here now. This is your company, man. D. Dawson is yours. Your dream, remember?" He tried to reason with me. "I don't want to meet people. I can't face anyone," I admitted, my voice flat. "Hey." His tone softened, full of concern. "Jackie, are you okay?" "I don't know." I ran a hand through my hair, exhaling sharply. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's killing me from the inside, and it doesn't even make sense. She was just a normal girl, like all the others I've met, but I can't seem to move on. Why is it so damn hard to accept that she's... My voice broke. "Jackie," James said gently, "you need to get out of that house. Keep yourself busy, meet new people, go out, live your life. Sitting there like this, it's only going to drag you deeper into depression, man. And that's not cool." "I get it," I muttered. "But, I don't want to meet other girls. I don't want to forget her. I used to think that if someone doesn't love you back, you just move on, find someone else. But this is different. She's everywhere, James. Everywhere. In my mind, my memories, my skin, my soul, even in every damn drop of my blood." James sighed. "Damn," he finally said. "That's a new one. Well, that's exactly what I'm feeling. And if that wasn't enough, she haunts my dreams too. Always the same nightmare. I lose her. Over and over again. I wake up breathless, like I'm suffocating. And in the dream, she always walks away. With him." James was quiet for a moment before speaking. "Okay, I won't push you to come to work. But you have to pull yourself out of this, man. I'm seriously worried about your health." He hesitated, clearly avoiding the words mental or psychological state. I let out a dry chuckle. "James, I appreciate it, but I just don't have the energy to go out. I don't feel like it." "And that," he said firmly, "is the first sign of falling into depression. Get up. Get out of that damn mansion. I'm picking you up in 30 minutes. "But I don't..." "No buts. Just get ready, ASAP," he ordered, like a strict guardian, and hung up before I could argue. I scowled at the phone. "I'm not going." I tossed the receiver down and grabbed the remote, mindlessly flipping through the channels again. But nothing helped. Nothing. "Screw you, James," I muttered, hurling the remote onto the other couch. A few seconds later, I sighed and dragged myself up to get ready. 45 minutes later, James showed up and literally dragged me into his car. I wasn't even in the mood to fight him off, so he was lucky. He drove us to a cafe and we sat there in silence for a few minutes after ordering. I was fine with the silence, but as usual, he wasn't. "Jackie," he finally spoke. I looked up for the first time since we sat down. James studied me for a moment, blinking as if he was trying to read my thoughts. "What?" I asked, looking away. "That should be my question." He shrugged. "What's going on?" I glanced at him briefly but couldn't bring myself to speak. I had never felt this weak before, never hesitated this much to talk about what I truly wanted, or the weight of my broken heart. People see me as a strong decision maker, someone who never wavered. But if they knew the truth, if they found out that the great Jackie Dawson, eligible bachelor, successful businessman, is unwanted by the only girl he ever truly wanted, they will judge me. They will talk about how my request, my love, have meant nothing in front of her decision. You still want her, James stated, pulling me from my thoughts. I avoided his gaze. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's just not talk about it. No way, man. He shook his head. That's all we're talking about today because I want my best friend back. You left him somewhere in India, and I will bring him back here. His determination was infuriating. Don't talk rubbish, James. My patience wore thin. If you were really my friend, you wouldn't be sitting here sulking. You'd have punched me at least 5 times by now. That's not true. You deserve those punches because you're insufferably annoying. I glared at him. And if you keep going, I will start swinging. Then do it. He leaned forward. Punch me, hit me, why aren't you? I rolled my eyes, exhaling sharply. Stop it, James, I'm not in the mood for jokes. He was about to reply, but the waiter arrived with our food, forcing a brief silence between us. As soon as the waiter left, James started again. Look, you've changed, and I can see it. I haven't seen you in weeks. And it's obvious something's not right. You were happy the last time you came to San Francisco. Of course I've changed. I was happy before. I leaned back in my chair. Now I'm not. Just then, the cafe's speakers started playing Indian song. My head snapped up immediately. It caught me off guard, reminded me of buses, taxis, shops, my office, my duplex, everywhere back in India. I swallowed hard. Lavanya loves Bollywood music. I looked up at the speaker mounted on the ceiling, the melody sinking deep into my chest. What? James asked. I didn't respond. Following my gaze, he frowned at the speaker, then back at me. His expression shifted, recognition dawning on his face. His voice softened. Chill, man. It'll be okay. Don't let this get to you. He motioned toward my plate. Eat something. We ate in silence, but my mind stayed on the music the entire time.
Author's POV. James wasn't happy seeing his best friend like this. Jackie had never been like this. He watched him closely while they ate, his mind deep in thought. After an hour, James convinced Jackie to go to the office. He didn't allow him to say no. The moment they arrived, every employee greeted Jackie warmly. They were genuinely happy to have their boss back. But no one saw the sorrow beneath his mask. For the first time, in a room full of people, Jackie had never felt more alone. And James? He knew his friend needed help, and fast. Jackie couldn't stay out for long, so he returned home. James dropped him off, though Jackie was already irritated by his friend's overly protective attitude. Thanks, James, Jackie muttered as he stepped out of the car. Anything for you? James winked, earning an eye roll from Jackie. See you tomorrow, James called out, but Jackie just shrugged and walked away without another word.
Lavanya's POV. It was late, around midnight. I was on the terrace, gazing at the sky, lost in my thoughts, when my phone suddenly vibrated against my palm. I checked the screen. An unknown number. I frowned. An international number? My mind immediately went to the only person I knew from another country. Mr. Dawson. Without thinking, I smiled and hurriedly answered. Oh, hello? Silence. Hello? I repeated, my heart beating faster. Hello? The call disconnected abruptly. I stared at my phone, mouth slightly open. Was that Mr. Dawson? No, that couldn't be. He hates me now. But then, who else could it be? Before I could think further, my phone vibrated again. The same number. I answered immediately. Hello? Hello? A male voice came through, slightly unclear. The voice sounded familiar, but it wasn't Mr. Dawson. Hello? I hesitated. Yeah, is this Miss, Lavno Verma? What? I frowned. Are you Lavno Verma from India? It's Lavanya Verma, I corrected. Oh yeah, sorry. That's a really hard name to pronounce. I rolled my eyes. Why do foreigners always say that? Who are you? And how do you know me? How did you get my number? Where are you calling from? I demanded. Whoa, hold on, miss. One question at a time, please. He chuckled. Now, let's see. What was your first question again? I squeezed my eyes shut. Your name? Oh, right. I'm James, Jackie Dawson's friend. My eyes snapped open. Before I could ask the next question, he continued. I got your number from Mr. Balram Singh. And yes, I know you because Jackie introduced us once, remember? Yeah, I stammered. Why is he calling me? Well, hi, Miss Verma, he said in an oddly flirtatious tone. I called to check on you. How are you doing, ma'am? Huh? I blurted, completely confused.
Jackie's POV. 3 days later. I sat in the garden, slouched in my chair, watching the gardener water the flowers. It was around 8 in the morning when one of my servants brought out a bowl of cereal. I wasn't in the mood to eat, but he placed it on the table in front of me anyway. Sir, please have something. You'll feel better. Also, let me know what you'd like for lunch so I can inform the chef. Anything but Indian, I muttered, still watching the gardener. Anything specific, sir? He asked. I sighed, irritated. I don't like repeating myself, Jamal. The servant froze, his brows furrowing in confusion. What? I snapped. Sir, my name is Ethan. His voice was nervous. At that moment, I realized I had called him by the wrong name. An awkward silence settled between us as we stared at each other. Blinking away my embarrassment, I muttered, Yeah, Ethan, I'll eat anything. Okay, sir. He gave a small bow and walked toward the mansion. What must he be thinking of me? I hope I'm not going mad. I watched him leave from the corner of my eye, but then the sound of an approaching engine pulled my attention toward the main gate. James's car rolled into the property, stopping just before the parking area. Ethan paused, glancing at the car to see who had arrived. Even the gardener, who had been busy watering the plants, turned his head in curiosity. I picked up my spoon, attempting to focus on my cereal, deliberately avoiding looking in James's direction. But from my peripheral vision, I saw him step out of the car. Yet instead of coming toward me, he walked to the other side and opened the passenger door. The gardener suddenly straightened, his eyes widening in astonishment. Curious? I followed his gaze to see what had caught his attention. The moment my eyes landed on the figure stepping out of the car, standing behind the open door next to James, my hands went limp. The spoon clattered onto the table. The cereal bowl slipped from my grip and fell to the ground with a dull thud. Am I hallucinating now too?